Welcome to lesson 47, subtract rational numbers. So I handle, when I first start a series of videos, I handle all out four basic operations separately from one another. And then as we go along, we'll see how we will incorporate all of that into the same thing. So subtract rational numbers, lesson 47 of numbers and operations. Here's our objective, our rules and our notes. Our first example, find the difference. Negative 1/8 minus 3.56. So now, what we're going to see is that one is a fraction, one is a decimal, obviously, but you're going to have to turn one of them into a fraction or the other one into a decimal. And for my money, I always say turn everything into a decimal. It's just far easier to deal with. So to turn 1/8 into a decimal, we divide 8 into 1. The top that goes into the bottom divides into the top. So 8 divides into 1 0 times. That's why it's a fraction. 8 goes into 10 once. 1 times 8 is 8. Subtracting, you get 2. Add a 0. 2 times 8 is 16. Subtracting, you get 4. Add another 0. And 8 goes into 45 times. Subtracting, you get 0. And now we can see how this terminates. So 1/8 is the same as 0.125 minus 3.56. Now that these numbers are written in the same form, we just perform our operation. So negative 3.56 minus 0.125. Same signs add, negative, add. 0 plus 5 is 5. 6 plus 2 is 8. 6, 3. Now, we can turn this back into a fraction, depending on what the answer calls for. So you take 685 and put it over 1,000. And as we can see, this ends in a 5. This ends in a 0. So we know we can at least divide by 5 over 5. 5 goes into 6 once. Subtracting, we get 18, 3, 55, 18. 685 divided by 5, 1, 18, 3 is 15, 35 is 7. 137 over 200. Okay, so negative 3 and 685 thousandths becomes negative 3 and 137 over 200. Okay, there you go. Example 1 done. Okay, find the difference. We got 2 negatives and then 2 negatives in a row. So now this becomes 16 plus 9.82 plus 6.7. And so since these all have the same signs, we can just line them up and add. 16 plus 9.82, 6.7. Put a decimal at the end of your 16. Put 2 zeros, fill in your zeros. You got to put your zeros in for place value. You can put zeros here so that you see all the numbers line up by the decimal. So 2, 15, 7 and 9 is 16. So 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 plus 9 is 16. Plus 6 is 22. And we get 32.52. 32 and 52 hundredths. And it's positive. And since this started as a decimal, we'll leave it as a decimal. And those are our 2 examples for this lesson. I'll see you at the end of the video for the recap. Okay, so negative 8.5 minus 1 and 7/16. Okay, well, we had two options. We could turn 0.5 into a fraction and add the fraction. And since you've never seen me do that, that's what I'll do. I'll turn 5/10 goes into 5. Oh, wait. No, we're not turning the decimal. We'll turn it into a fraction. 5/10. We have a 5 and a 10. We know we could divide by 5. We get 1/2. Okay, so we got negative 8.5 minus 1 and 7/16. So now we had to turn these both into improper fractions. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 1 is 17. 16 plus 7 is 23. 23/16. These got different bottoms, so we can't add. So let's line it up. 23/16. Negative 17/2. Does 2 go into 16? Yes, it does. 8 times. So multiply by 8/8. We get 16. 8 times 7 is 56. 136. Bring over your negative. Okay, now, same signs add. So now 3 plus 6 becomes 9. 13 plus 2 is 15/16. All right, so now our answer is negative 159/16. But look, our top is bigger than our bottom, so we can't leave it like this. So now we're going to have to divide 159 by 16. So 16 times 10 is 160. So 159, so I'm going to do 9. 9 times 6 is 54. 5. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 5 is 14. Subtracting, you get 5/15. So, as a fraction, we have negative 9 15/16. But if we wanted to turn this into a decimal, we would just keep going with the division. Add a decimal, hit a 0, hit a 0. So we saw 9 would give us 144. 6, our 16s go 16, 32, 48, 64. So 3 is 48. That's 12. Put a 0 and a 0. Our 16, 64, 80, 96, 96 and 10 is 106, plus 6 is 112, so 7. 112. Now I'm running out of space. 8, put a 0, 80, 5 times. 5 times 16 is 80. I'm sorry I ran out of room and it got kind of sloppy on you. But as a decimal, this equals 9.9375. Okay. So there it is both ways for you. I could have turned 7/16 into a decimal, but I've done that several times, so I just wanted to show you it the other way. Okay, find a sum. Well, since I'm on this theme on this video, I might as well turn 6/10 into a fraction. 6/10 divided by 2/2. We get 3/5. So 2 negatives, we get negative 3/5 plus 4 3/5. Oh, wow, this is going to be easy. 4 3/5 positive minus 3/5 Any number subtracted by itself becomes 0. And so our answer is 4. Okay, so that sums up this video. Please go back and watch earlier videos. If I move too fast through the fraction stuff, at a whole series of fraction videos, it's probably 10 videos dealing with fractions. I got 2 videos dealing with adding and subtracting integers. So we have a lot to choose from. So use this channel, look at other videos, and make sure you get your practice in. You got to practice these things. Watching this video once, twice, or several times is going to help you, but you're not really going to get math until you start to practice. And so make sure you get a teacher's edition of a book. Go back and watch my welcome video to help you understand how this channel works and how you should be doing math so that you can get better at it. All right. Once again, thanks for watching. Subscribe, hit the notifications.